Hey guys, um, I've been planning and do continue to plan to do videos and blogs on, critical thinking, practical argumentation, logical fallacies, and general science literacy. And kind of leading into that, something's crossed my mind after reading a number of threads, primarily on Facebook, where this seems to happen a lot. Um, and that's a little idea of something called Godwin's Law. It's not a formal fallacy, really. But it's definitely something we want to be aware of, and it concerns a type of behavior we want to avoid if we're trying to make a rational argument. Many of my friends probably already know what this is. People that are regularly engaging in online debates and that kind of thing have no doubt encountered this phenomenon. But Godwin's Law is named after an attorney and writer named Mike Godwin, who back in around 1990 was describing a phenomenon noticed on Usenet, and it's expanded to pretty much any internet discussion or thread. But basically what it describes is that as the length of a discussion or a debate online increases, as it goes on longer and longer, the probability that a comparison involving either Nazis or Hitler will be made, the probability of that approaches 1. Put another way, you let something go on long enough, some fool is going to equate a person or a phenomenon in the thread to Nazis. And a little kind of corollary to that is it's often accepted that whoever invokes the Nazi thing, that analogy, automatically forfeits the argument. They lose the debate on the spot because it's usually an absolutely ridiculous thing to compare some perceived evil we see, in the world, or something we don't like that we're debating against, to equate that to Nazism. With an exception, an important exception being obviously if we're actually discussing dictatorships, large-scale genocide, or something else where, okay, a reasonable comparison could be made. But outside of that, you lose the discussion, you lose the argument. And so it highlights the fact that a lot of people like to appeal to emotions when we're having a discussion, when there's a debate or a disagreement going on, instead of really trying to predicate their argument on good substance. They just do something hyperbolic, something really over the top and exaggerate, like compare the person they're arguing with to Nazis, or compare some phenomenon they're talking about to the Third Reich. And it's ridiculous for a number of reasons. One, it's not necessarily or usually attacking the substance of the other person's argument in any way, shape, or form. Two, it's ridiculously over the top. And three, it does a horrible disservice. It's just downright disrespectful to the tragedies that occurred during World War II, victims of actual genocide, or people that were there that witnessed that, or people that are aware of those kinds of atrocities and what they're really like, no better than to make light of it, or speak so flippantly about it, to compare it to something you don't like. Oh, some corporate takeover of another company. Oh, those Nazis. It's ridiculous. So being aware of this is really important, I think, in terms of just trying to form logical arguments. Now, if you want to just appeal to someone's authority, get people to get on your side, or make somebody else look bad, or try to end a discussion by being over the top, then by all means, go ahead. But if you want to form an argument or form a position that's backed up with facts and that is carried on its own substance instead of emotional appeals, you need to avoid doing stuff like, what Godwin's Law is referring to. So I wanted to make a quick video about that. That's really it. I have a big thing against appealing to emotion. So just when you disagree with someone, don't call them a Nazi. It's pretty much, kind of where I'm coming from here. And most organizations you may not agree with, if it's a large company or something, or even a country that, you don't agree with in terms of their political, their policies or anything. I still seriously doubt they're as bad as the Nazis were. So just be aware of that and try not to be ridiculous when you have an argument.